If you've been hanging around this channel for a while, you're probably aware that I quite like Goldmary in Fire Emblem Engage. She's in my channel banner, I've used her in every playthrough, in my modded playthrough I made her my Jagan, and I even did a cosplay of her as a reward for the charity stream a few months ago. With that in mind, she seems like a perfect topic for my 5,000 subscriber special. Before I get into that though, I want to thank everyone that has watched or subscribed over the last 6 months. I've had a great time making videos and chatting with many of you in streams or Discord, so thank you for being here, and I look forward to continuing to make content for you guys. This video is going to be a little different than the usual video I make, as I usually focus on gameplay almost exclusively. I'm going to talk about Goldmary as a unit quickly at the end of the video, but the first portion is going to focus on Goldmary as a character. Goldmary comes off as an image-obsessed, vain, and self-absorbed person. And this makes sense when you look at a lot of her interactions. She's frequently humble bragging about how elegant and graceful she is, she competes with anyone she sees as elegant, cute, or good at cooking, and she gets upset when people don't compliment her enough. Still, I think there's a little more to Goldmary that can be overlooked. We're going to dive into her supports and see what Goldmary's all about and why I like her so much. To start with, let's look at a couple supports that show who Goldmary is on a surface level. I think the best examples of this are her Saphir support and her Boucheron support. In the Saphir support, we learn that Goldmary has heard Saphir is a good fisherman and cook, and since cooking is something Goldmary takes pride in, she challenges Saphir to a cook-off, threatening to utterly destroy her. And this is a somewhat common trend for Goldmary. We see her penchant for competition in both her Saphir and Etier supports, and in her Panette support, she's hesitant to teach Panette cooking, as she doesn't want to create more competition for her to be compared against. In all three of these supports, she eventually relents, learning to enjoy cooking with Saphir, learning to enjoy Etier's company, and agreeing to teach Panette to cook. We see a different dynamic in Goldmary's supports with Boucheron, though. In this support chain, Goldmary takes a liking to Boucheron because he's willing to constantly compliment her cooking whenever she brings him lunch, while others eventually get tired of complimenting her. These are the two dynamics people tend to think of when they look at Goldmary: her competitiveness and confidence, and her desire to be praised by others. These are factors that mark her as vain and self-absorbed. We do get to see another side of Goldmary in some of her other supports, though. My favorite is actually her support with Fram. The C support is a bit of a nothing support. Fram and Goldmary go apple picking together, and Goldmary strips down to bathe, surprising Fram. It's basically a surprise nudity funny haha type support. However, we see something more interesting out of Goldmary in the B support. Here, Goldmary laments that she made a goofy face when she ate the apples they picked, and she's so worried about what other people may have thought about her that she's afraid to go around people that may have seen her. This support recontextualizes a lot of Goldmary's confidence and need for praise. Goldmary needs others to compliment her and see her as perfect because she's cripplingly self-conscious when she thinks she's being seen badly, to the point that she can't bring herself to go be around people because they may have seen her make an ugly face while eating. Goldmary's issues with her self-image are reinforced in a few other supports that dig further into her backstory. In Lapis's support, we learn that Goldmary came from a small village, living a rural life until a few years ago when she left to join the Elusian Academy. Goldmary mentions that the Academy was a turning point for her in multiple supports and bond conversations, but she goes into a little more detail in her Alir supports. She expresses how going to the Academy was a shell shock for her, as she was suddenly not the most popular or talented, like she had been during her time in her village. She cites this as the reason for her being a perfectionist. She never wanted to feel like less than others ever again. Combining this information with what we learned in the Fram support, Goldmary's comical amount of self-confidence starts to read more as a defense mechanism. She needs others to see her the way that she presents herself, otherwise she might feel less than. She's constantly comparing herself to those around her, so she assumes that others are doing the same thing, and she would be devastated to be judged unfavorably by her peers, as she might have been when she started in the academy. At the end of the Goldmary Lapis support, Goldmary mentions that she's glad to have a friend that she can be herself around in Lapis. Someone that can relate to her experience before she went to the academy and who she doesn't feel the need to compete with. This is rare for Goldmary, and we only see it in a few other places, namely in her Hortensia and Rosado supports. The Rosado support in particular shows you how different she can act around people she's comfortable with when she's not worried about being judged. In the Goldmary Rosado C support, Rosado claims to be cuter than Goldmary by far. Goldmary makes a light comment expressing her disagreement, but can you imagine if someone else had said that to her? If Etier told Goldmary she thought she was cuter, I'm pretty sure Goldmary would stab her. So it's in these relationships where we can see a Goldmary that's a lot closer to her true self, I think. She's still vain, she still likes to be complimented, and she still thinks highly of herself. But she loses her competitive tendencies and doesn't feel like she needs validation when she's around the select few that she feels comfortable with. On one hand, this makes these supports really special and nice, but it also casts a bit of a sad light on some of her other interactions. It's easy to imagine how much pressure she must feel when you have her do something like cook something in the Somnio, or how bad she must feel on the rare occasion she makes a bad dish or when she couldn't catch a fish for the Saphir cooking competition. Interestingly, this less competitive version of Goldmary that we see in the Rosado and Lapis supports is also what we see when she joins the party in Chapter 16. This scene has a lot of Goldmary and Rosado interacting, and we get to see a side of Goldmary that we don't see too often. In this scene, Goldmary suggests resting so Rosado's wyvern can have a break, and later on, when they have to decide who gets to use the Erica ring in Chapter 6, Goldmary says Rosado should take it, giving him all of the credit for getting them to Hortensia for this chapter. We don't see Goldmary do this much for the rest of the game, and it speaks to Goldmary having a special relationship with Rosado, one in which she doesn't find it necessary to act with her typical bravado and can even give credit to Rosado. It shows how much Goldmary cares that, given an opportunity to shine and take the Erica ring for herself, she gives all the credit to Rosado. We get to see a bit more of Goldmary's nurturing side in her Yunaka support, where Yunaka opens up to Goldmary about how her trauma makes it difficult for her to do chores like laundry. Goldmary helps Yunaka cope with the feelings chores dredge up for her by engaging in some role-playing with her. She has Yunaka imitate her, and they do chores as two Goldmarys together. It's a really sweet support, and it shows a caring side of Goldmary. This was the support that really made me understand Goldmary's ending, in which she becomes one of the finest teachers in Elios. Around people that she doesn't see as competition, Goldmary has a caring and emotionally intelligent side, perfect for working with children. All of this is to say that I think Goldmary is a bit more of an interesting character than she's given credit for, and I love both aspects of her character. When Goldmary is being competitive and vain, she's genuinely hilarious, and to me she's as charming as she claims to be. But I also really like her more down-to-earth moments when she opens up about her insecurities and cares for friends in need. My favorite part about these moments, though, is that they recontextualize her funny moments. It's hilarious when Goldmary demands compliments from Alir, but once you're a little more familiar with her backstory and her self-consciousness, there's more to that scene. You better understand where that need for compliments is coming from, and it makes her a more interesting character. So that's why Goldmary is one of my favorite characters in Engage. There's never a dull moment with her, and all of her supports either reveal some context for why she is the way she is, or offers some of the game's best comedy. I think her insecurities are also relatable to many people, including myself. While my coping mechanisms may be different than Goldmary's, a fear of being judged is something I think a lot of people have experienced, even to the point where they're unable to do the things they would like to do. Hilarious and relatable, truly, Goldmary is perfection.
Don't be silly. You're right though, go on.
Well, Goldmary might be one of my favorite characters. As a unit, she's a bit more middling, but I think she still has some interesting features worthy of discussion. My favorite thing about Goldmary as a unit is that she practically comes ready to go. She comes 2 levels and 200 SP away from grabbing Brave Assist and inheriting Dual Assist Plus, making her a really low-cost support unit that you can add to your team if you have a free slot. Another nice thing about this setup is that Goldmary has solid bulk for her join time, boasting 20 defense. It's certainly not enough for her to mindlessly tank enemies, but if you need her to take a hit in a pinch, or if you make a mistake, she'll be okay, which is nice. Sadly, chain attacks are not the most important ability to have in Engage. With so many ways to stack stats and so many powerful emblems, it's not too difficult to just deal with all of Engage's enemies without having to rely on chain attacks. Still, nearly instant access to Brave Assist and Dual Assist isn't too bad for a unit in a filler role, particularly on your first playthrough where you may not be as familiar with stat stacking and enemy benchmarks. Another option for Goldmary is to really lean into her good defense. If we reclass her to Great Knight, she immediately has a very respectable 28 defense and can start taking multiple attacks per turn. She'll also have 1800 SP available, so you'll be able to stack up some powerful skills like Canter or Speed Plus. She does get quite bulky this way. At internal level 35, she has a cool 34 defense and 20 resistance. Combined with any durability increasing emblems like Ike, she'll be pretty tough to kill. If you go this route, you'll still probably want to patch up her offense though. She'll want some speed help and maybe some strength help too, but with speed plus and some offensive skill like axe power, you can have a pretty strong, very beefy Goldmary. I don't love this build for Goldmary though, because the whole tanking thing isn't really my playstyle in Engage. Without getting very ahead of the level curve, it's difficult for Goldmary to become so tanky that she can take 3+ attacks, since late game enemies boast attacks in the 50s, 60s, and even 70s. You can use tools that make tanking more reliable, such as Bonded Shield from Lucina or Ike's extra tankiness, but you don't really need excellent defense to take advantage of those, so it's less of a boon for Goldmary. Additionally, fixing a unit with speed plus and axe power is something you can do with almost anybody. Still, these are two builds that aren't too bad for a filler unit, and coming with 1800 SP and not bad bases makes Goldmary pretty flexible. The two roles I discussed are the ones I use most often, but access to skills right away means she can slot into other roles as well. If you want an extra staffer with Divine Pulse, Goldmary can do it. If you want a bulky Great Knight to hold onto Lucina and fuel your Cavalier Ball, well, Goldmary can do that too. Or if you want to go super low effort like I do, stick her in Hero and you have a Bravasive spot that can carry a utility emblem. Regardless of which route you choose for Goldmary as a unit, it's pretty easy to slot her into many teams, and you should, because she's perfect and she deserves it. If you liked this video and you want to see more like it, consider hitting the like or subscribe button so that you never miss an upload. And if you want to support the channel further, I recently made a Patreon. It includes things like a day early access to videos, getting to see the scripts for each video, and work in progress scripts, as well as getting your name in each video, so check that out if you're interested. Or if you just want to hang out and talk about Fire Emblem some more, consider joining the community Discord. You'll find a link in the description. No matter what though, thanks for stopping by and have yourself an awesome week.